8th. It's a long day today. It's gonna be a long day today. Couple things. I need to get my shit together. I've been slacking. And it's just funny because the video that I posted this morning is on hoarding tendencies. So I have a lot of other tendencies. And I've mentioned it here and there in other videos. One of the tendencies that I have is overeating. I tend, if I don't have like a structure, I tend to go, I have these tendencies to overeat, these tendencies to like almost addictive type tendencies. Overindulge. I like that word better. Overindulge. And I didn't meal prep this week. And so I'm clearly I was clearly struggling with my food patterns. And when I meal prep, like I literally have like my breakfast set up. Like everything is its own container. When I'm really good at it, when I was really like hardcore lifting weights, everything had like, I had all my breakfast individual, like for the day. So me quitaba la tentación, like it took away the temptation of having to go and open the fridge and be like, what am I eating today? or snacking even, because everything was already scheduled. And that helped me stay on top of that. So I need to do that because I'm not liking me diving in. Same thing with work. I overindulge in other areas, and then I was like, oh, I need to work on this. So not that I'm behind on work, I'm where I need to be. It's just I could be better with my time management. So there's that. I had a little, I don't know, there's a pint or a quart of ice cream all by myself. So I was like, there's 880 calories in my belly. So I need to stop those habits. I really need to buckle down. And that's one of the things I was realizing. I'm like, okay, if I need to focus on my work, the way I was successful was when I was really structured, really like, I eliminated a lot of the distractions. TV being a huge one. TV being a huge distraction for me, because I can easily overindulge in shows and binge watch and you know, I think with COVID it's been a little more acceptable because we're not going outside, or tolerated rather. So I've been finding myself binge watching. It just not binge watching. Just really catching up, because I taken myself away from that for a while purposefully, and there's an element of like, it's been cold and sometimes I have TV in the background just for noise, because it just helps to stay focused when there's noise in the background. And what was I saying? Why were they going with that? Oh, so here's the thing. These last couple nights I've had dreams. I've struggled with them slightly, in the sense that I can't remember details, even though I know it was very pronounced. Like the scenes were very pronounced and I had the ability to tap into it. However, what I noticed was these past couple nights I've been binge watching. Like I was watching This Is Us. I haven't seen that show in a while, so I was behind a few seasons. And I was triggered by it because I happened to be watching TV or had it in the background, and then it mentioned it's the final season. I was like, oh, that's right, I forgot about that show, and I hadn't watched it in a while. But what I'm noticing just in the past 2 nights is that it's been harder for me to remember the dreams. Even though there's this overwhelming feeling of like, I could have remembered it. And made the time to sit with it, and I even tried to sit with it after I woke up, but it was just so blurry. It was blurry, and I couldn't. It was hard for me to separate what I went to bed watching and all of the, it's stimulus. There's something called stimulus control. with therapy, where you're making changes to your sleeping routine, your sleeping hygiene, by removing electronics, removing anything that overstimulates your brain, that makes it difficult to go to sleep. And so anyways, yeah, I can see that because I'm trying to tap into my dreams to remember, to see if there's other, it's clearly, right, it's guiding me, so I don't want to be derailed, and I want the information, and the television is definitely impacting my ability to tap in with myself. That's a good way of putting it. And I realized that this morning. I was just like, why was it so hard? Like, I felt it. I was there. I can almost see things unfold, but it's all blurry. And so it's just like, it's because I'm watching TV. I'm like, that's the only thing that's been different in terms of my bedtime routine, is that I'm engrossed in the storyline. So there's that awareness. Second awareness. MJ just came out with a North Node in the Houses video set, part 1 and part 2, where she's talking about North Node and your karmic path. She made a comment as she's explaining this. I need to be quick because I have a client. She made a comment about explaining how when you get too stuck on your South Node, the universe forces you out. So this is where tower moments occur. It forces you out so that you can embrace your North Node, which is the energy and the path that is more challenging. And then she said, but it doesn't mean that you let go of your South Node. It means that it activates it even more, is what she said. Because we're supposed to balance. It's all about balance. We're supposed to balance everything in life. So when she said that, it activates. So my North Node, I mentioned it before, is in the 10th house of career. And it's Leo. So that's the energy I'm supposed to embrace, to be seen, right? Doing this line of work, doing my work, my life's purpose. I'm supposed to have that nurturing part as well, because Leo is actually very nurturing. And I was stuck in the 5th house, and I remember struggling, or the 4th house is, so traditional roles, 10th house is father, 4th house is mother. So it's more of the nurturing within my home, my sense of belonging. I remember always struggling, culturally, right? Being Latina and Hispanic, and traditional female roles and motherhood. And I remember there was this repelling of it, if you will, because there was this forced belief that I had to be in that role, a stay-at-home mom, or there's this forced belief that because I was struggling with my own balance, the idea of having children was like, like, I don't think I can, because there's this pull to do work, but then the idea, the belief that I had to stay home, right? And then I was in a relationship where I wasn't trusting of myself, and so therefore I wasn't being able to trust others around me to do the job. That really was it. I didn't trust my partner to follow through. I didn't trust my partner because I would come home and I'm like, really, like I needed, so it's like it wasn't in the way that I wanted it, and I had these unrealistic expectations. My poor partner, right? and over the years, now in retrospect, I'm like, no, he was actually really great being at home, but there was still this element of like, his North Node is more about himself being okay and content, and that would drive me crazy. I'm just like, how are you just content? Like, and it was really more the projection of me, right? And so it makes sense for me. It makes sense as to why he was just being himself, and it was just lifting a mirror for me, because I needed to move, I needed to expand, and I felt like I was stuck. So why 5 minutes, wrap it up, baby, wrap it up. What I noticed as I was watching This Is Us, it happens to be the chapters where everyone's having babies. Everyone is having babies. Kevin is having babies. And so then all, it's like the storyline is they're having babies, and then it goes back to, the parents and all of these couples, like, right, having babies. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Because now I'm seeing that, and I'm wanting that. I'm wanting that. And then I'm getting reminded of my freaking bunnies. I'm like, oh my gosh, is that what that means? Is that what that means? The bunnies. And realizing that there is more of, I felt it yesterday. I was just like, why, what? Like, what? Is that possible that it's now triggering that within me? That desire, and it's still not very, like, impregnate me type of feeling. It's more of this emotional, like, a pull, maybe. There's an emotional pull, is the best way that I can explain it. To have children, to have a family. So it's just, and I didn't really understand why. I'm like, why all of a sudden, right? And even as I was organizing myself for this new work that I'm planning for myself, there's this element of, like, I'm doing it for someone else. Like, I'm doing it for myself, but the idea of potentially having, just to be able to care for someone, to be able to take care of a potential family, like, that drives me. And it's more of this, like, it's just interesting. It's just a weird shift within me, and I don't, yeah. So anyway, so as I was listening to her talk, and she's like, no, it just activates the opposing, because you have your north node and your south node, and the south node is what you come to this earth already holding, like, the ability. And so I'm like, well, that makes sense. Like, I was always good being home, like, in the sense of, like I'm good with kids. Like, I'm really good with kids, attentive to their needs. Like, I'm one step ahead, so there's always been this feeling of, like, I got this, right? If I were to stay home, like, I got this. But there was that internal tug within me of, like, but I want to focus on my work, and I don't know why. How can I do both? That was always the challenge for me. It's like, how can I do both? Because I excel working with kids. I excel, that already kind of, in my adult life, like, my nieces and my nephews love me. Pretty great. And that's when I realized, I'm like, be a damn good mom. So anyways, I just thought that was really interesting, because I hadn't noticed that before. So just having to get ready here for my next client. Okay. So that was it. I just wanted to speak to that awareness and realization that as I'm learning more about my north node and south node, that I wonder if that is related somehow. Yeah. And then the dream stuff, I noticed too, the blurriness and the difficulty being able to process it, because it was overstimulated with watching TV. So that was all. That's for me. Bye. Hi. My name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us, in whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me.